Thank you so much for joining us today. By the way, my name is Laura Cantu, in case you missed that. And if you are new here, welcome. I am so happy that you have joined us today. And if you're a returning viewer, thank you so much for trusting us and coming back to these live streams so that you can, get help and learn a little bit about the college planning journey. Now, today we will be talking about applying to college regular decision. All right, applying regular decision. What's regular decision? This is a type of application that colleges offer. Students can apply to college with different types of applications, and basically these different types of applications, what it means is that they have different deadlines, and there is early action, early decision, regular decision, and rolling admissions, but each one has slightly different policies and different deadlines. Obviously, early action, the deadline is going to be early. Early decision as well is going to be an earlier deadline compared to regular decision, which is the most common type of application that colleges have. And rolling admissions, hence the name rolling. It means that these are applications that are ongoing throughout the year. There's not really a set deadline. Mostly, colleges use rolling admissions. The deadline, the deadline ends when they have capped their class size. That's when colleges that do rolling admissions close the applications. So there are different types of applications that colleges do have. Some colleges even have early decision 1 or early action 1 and early action 2. So there are differences, and it's not only, the differences between these types of applications. Wow, I'm speaking really fast. Let's say that again. The difference between these types of applications not only lie, with the deadlines. There are some requirements that each type of application has. And regular decision deadlines, it's the most standard type of application, and there is not really any rules when it comes to applying regular decision, other than filling out the application and sending out the application on time. I'm saying this because early decision and early action sometimes have limits on how many schools a student can apply to. Early action is binding, whereas early decision is not, which means that students applying early action can only apply to that one school, and students applying early decision can apply to just a number of schools. It's not a binding agreement, but regular decision is non-binding, and students can apply to many schools as long as it's regular decision. There's no limit to how many schools they could apply to. But that doesn't mean that students should be out there applying to, hundreds of schools. I mean, I don't even know that's possible to do. It is possible to do, but I don't recommend it. Always create a college list and look for the right colleges for you or your student. Because those college applications, there is an application fee that cannot always be waived, so you don't want to just be applying to random colleges. And now I'm going on a tangent, but I was just explaining to you what today's topic is going to be: applying to college regular decision, which is the most common type of application that colleges have. Alrighty, it looks like we have a couple of people joining us. This is a relatively new channel, so if you have anybody that that you would benefit from the information that we have with these videos, I definitely recommend and I ask of you if you could share these videos, share this channel with them so that we can help them prepare for the college admissions journey. And I want to remind you that we are live every week. Let me switch this to English. I had we just had the Spanish live stream, so I apologize for that. So this is our weekly live schedule, which means we have live streams Mondays and Tuesdays. Mondays we have live streams on YouTube and on Facebook. 1 p.m. is our Spanish live stream on YouTube and Facebook, and at 3 p.m., which is, around this time, is when we have our English live stream in these platforms. And then tomorrow we take it to Instagram and TikTok, and we do our live streams there. Again, 1 p.m. is Spanish and 3 p.m. is English. This is Eastern time. So I just want to remind you and invite you to our live streams so that you can join us and that you can get, information and just knowledge from us, because this is free knowledge that we are sharing with you. All right, so with that being said, why don't we go ahead and get started with applying to college regular decision. All right, so the first thing that I do want to say is I want to explain what regular decision is. This is the most common type of application that colleges have. Most colleges, if not all colleges, have a regular decision, type of application, and they offer this deadline, the regular decision deadline. This deadline tends to be in early February or January, okay? So some schools' regular decisions deadlines have already passed, and some other schools are starting to have their deadlines. By the way, the regular decision, apart from rolling admissions, is the type of application, one of the last ones. So as soon as regular decisions deadlines start to close, students really only have rolling admissions. So if you are a senior or you have a student that's a senior and you haven't, finished your regular decision deadline, I recommend that you check your deadlines and that you finish those up, because some of those deadlines are coming up, all right? So make sure that you are finishing up your applications, that your essays are done, that pretty much everything's done so that you can send it out. All right, so another thing to know about RD, regular decisions, is these are the type of application. It is the type of application where students hear back from colleges no later than April 1st. So when a student applies regular decision, they will hear back from a university no later than April 1st, and students must make a decision on whether or not they are going to attend the college that they were accepted to by May 1st. This is College Decisions Day. So definitely, if your student gets accepted, they do have to choose. They have to reach back to the university and let them know whether or not they will be attending that institution, And I do want to say something about College Decision Day. It's usually every year before, the pandemic hit and everything. May 1st is traditionally College Decision Day. But ever since 2020, when we had the COVID breakout and everything, colleges switched the College Decision Day. They pushed it back to different deadlines. So this year could be the same. Last year there were colleges that pushed the college decision deadline. They gave students a little bit more time to decide whether or not they were going to attend their institution, because a lot of families did have problems throughout the pandemic, financial issues, relocation issues, personal issues, etc. So colleges were generous and they gave students a little bit of more time to decide and make their decision, which, deciding on a college is a big decision. And the college application journey does not end as soon as the student, sends their application. After that, and we will talk about this in more live streams, there is a whole process of receiving your college acceptance and your financial aid award, and reviewing different financial aid awards, reviewing pros and cons, and making a very, very well thought out decision, and then choosing a university. So remember that that's still part of the process, and that students do need to make a decision, and they do need to inform schools. Usually this is done by having a deposit giving an enrollment deposit to the university to let them know that you will be attending that school. And something else, since we are talking about college decision day and letting schools know that you will be attending, I also recommend, if you decide or your student decides not to attend an institution, maybe because they didn't get a good enough financial aid award, maybe it was the student's safety school, or simply, they just don't want to go there anymore, make sure that the student still reaches out to the school and lets them know, or you let them know if you're the student. Thank you so much for granting admissions to X university or X college. I'm really grateful, but I've decided to attend a different institution because you want to be in good standing with universities or colleges, because you never know, maybe one day you would want to do a graduate, pursue a graduate degree or something like that, and maybe that college has a great graduate program. Or maybe you want to transfer or something down the road. So definitely that is something that I recommend. All right. Back to regular decision. I know I went on a little bit of a tangent, but yeah. Let's talk about advantages of applying to college early decision. All right. So what are some advantages? Students who apply regular decision, not early decision, sorry. Students who apply to college regular decision typically have more time to work on their application. This is because, since the student is applying regular decision, they have a little bit more time before that deadline approaches. Students who apply early action or early decision, that deadline is in November, December, sometimes October. So definitely, from when the summer starts, which is when students should be start working on their college applications, to October, November, compared to having all the way till January or February. Of course, students who are doing regular decision, they have a bit more time, a couple months more to prepare and work on their application. So, like I said earlier, another advantage is there is no limit to the number of schools that students can apply to when they're applying regular decision. This is because, if a student's applying regular decision, they can apply to as many schools as they want because colleges don't really have any requirements for students applying regular decision like they do for early action or early decision. All right. So talking about earlier, I mentioned that one of the advantages is that students have more time to work on their application. Well, same goes for SAT and ACT scores. Since the student has more time to submit their application because that deadline for regular decision is later on, this means that they also have a couple months more to retake the SAT or ACT and shoot for having a higher score on these exams. Because they have more time, they have a couple more chances to take these exams than students who apply early action or early decision. And finally, again, with more time comes more, with a later deadline comes more time to improve a student's GPA, right? So if the student is, applying regular decision, they will have more time, just like they would to improve their SATs. Because if you think about it, a student who's applying early action or early decision, they have to send in their application before that first semester of senior year is over. So colleges will not get to see that first semester of senior year, those grades, when they're making their decision on whether or not to accept a student. But if a student applies regular decision, they have to send in their first semester of senior year, their GPA, all of their transcripts, so they will see how that student performed during their senior year, during that first semester of senior year. So if a student, let's say, maybe didn't do so well their last semester, junior year, maybe they can, improve that application or make it look a little better by getting straight A's during that first semester of senior year. And that that can actually help the student get a higher GPA and also have better grades that will look great on a college application. So that's another thing to keep in mind and another advantage of applying regular decision. All right, so there are plenty of advantages. Hopefully I was clear and it was easy to understand everything that I was explaining. All right, so now that we talked about the advantages of applying regular decision, why don't we talk about the disadvantages? Because yes, everything in life and in the college application process has advantages and disadvantages, pros and cons. So let's talk about the cons, the disadvantages. All right, so one disadvantage of applying regular decision is it can make the last months of high school overwhelming. It can make that second semester a bit overwhelming, especially because we always tell students that during that second semester of high school, that second semester of senior year, they should be always applying for scholarships, keeping up their grades, keeping up extracurricular requirements, if they have a club or if they're the president, treasurer, or something of a club, of an extracurricular, we recommend that students stay on top of that because, we don't want students to just say, oh, I'm a senior, get senioritis, and then maybe their grades drop, or maybe they don't study for their AP exams, which are also during that second semester of senior year. And, maybe they don't pass the AP exam and they miss out on opportunities to get college credit. Or maybe they get bad grades during that second semester of senior year and they could get, their college decision revoked if they get bad grades. So, these are all scenarios that happen that could happen. So definitely we recommend that students who are applying regular decision are organized and that they have a plan on how they will be applying and when they will be sending in their application, that they don't wait till the last minute because it could make that second semester, those last few months of high school very overwhelming, very stressful because there are other things happening during this time. All right. Another disadvantage is students have less time to choose a school. So what does that mean? So if a student hears back by April 1st on their regular decision schools, the school that they apply to with regular decision, they will have less time to choose by May 1st because, like I said, students have to choose by May 1st whether or not they want to attend an institution. So if they apply a regular decision to all of their schools, they have that time period from April 1st to May 1st to really think about and make a big decision on whether and on which school they want to apply to. So it does give the students, less time to make that educated decision, looking at those college admissions, those financial aid award letters and trying to make a decision. So that's another disadvantage. It could be a disadvantage. It could not if the student has a school that they know for sure they want to go to and they got a really amazing financial aid package, but who knows, maybe that some students, don't have, or they don't get accepted into their dream school and they get accepted to just their target schools or their safety schools. So they have to choose between all safety schools, and they do have to really think about whether, what school they want to choose. So this is a disadvantage. It can be a disadvantage applying regular decision and having less time to choose a college. Another disadvantage of applying regular decision is that since the student's not applying early, they're applying to the regular decision deadline. They're not applying early action or early decision. This can, hinder their, possibility of getting accepted and receiving scholarships. Because remember, like we talked in our video, early action versus early decision, applying early can actually maximize the odds of getting accepted and receiving scholarships, right? So if a student is, not applying early, they might miss out on this opportunity. Now, doesn't mean that just because the student's going to apply either early action or early decision, they will get accepted for sure into university. It just has shown in the past that it can help a student's chances to get accepted into a school. So since the student, if the student were to apply regular decision, it's those odds, that possibility, it's not there anymore because they didn't apply early. And the reason why, I will give a little explanation why colleges, why students, odds of getting accepted are higher if they apply early action or early decision. It's just because when students choose to apply early decision or early action, since they are putting in the effort to apply early, since they are, saying I'm okay with these restrictions of only applying early decision or early action to just this one school, this actually goes, colleges like this because it shows interest. It demonstrates that the student, is willing to say no to any other school or is willing to, put in the work to apply early. So colleges do like that. So that's a disadvantage. But if the student is prepared, if the student has all the requirements, if they have good grades, if they have, work towards getting good test scores, etc., they shouldn't worry too much about this. Thank you so much. That was applying to college with regular decision. Once again, I will be back next week at 3 p.m. And I will be live tomorrow in Instagram and in TikTok. So if you want to talk or if you want to join us, make sure that you follow us at Best College Aid USA, and that you join us so that you can be a part of these discussions. Don't forget to ask questions. And thank you so much for being here today. My name is Laura Cantu, and I will see you again either tomorrow or next week. Thank you so much. Have an amazing day.